Hey, this is Joe Castiglione, and you're listening to Not Another Sox Podcast. Can you believe it?
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox Podcast. I am Jack Webster here with our producer Ian Doran, coming at you live from Providence, Rhode Island, with special guest today, Hunter Knoll. Hunter, welcome on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. What's up, guys?
Yeah, for people that might not be familiar with you or anything like that, obviously you've been covering the Red Sox minor league system very extensively with a few other places here, so let the people know about yourself.
Yeah, 2015, I guess, because I think it was the year I graduated college. That makes me feel really old. Started covering the Red Sox minor league system. I had been that was what I was doing in college, working for a couple websites for free. Classic. That's how they get you.
Weren't we all? Right.
Yeah. Even now, the pay is not
Unpaid labor.
Good,
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where after, a year and a half of writing, I started writing also about some minor league players. And that was kind of like you notice that they are much more grateful to get written about. Like a lot of these guys don't get talked about ever. So then that kind of became the niche thing for me, was writing about minor league players. And then it just kind of became a massive passion of enjoying to watch these guys go up through the system. It makes it that much more fun to me to see them get to go to Boston. And it's like, oh shit, I know that guy. Sorry, am I allowed to curse on here?
Oh yes, please.
Okay.
It's encouraged.
I'll try to keep it to a slight minimum. But
Hunter, Jesus.
This used to be a family show.
This was never.
This
a family show.
this was never a family show. I feel so bad for anybody that might have like kids in the car or something while they're listening to us.
This used to be a family show. I would hate to meet that family.
Yeah, no,
Kids probably have no rules. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
The grassy knoll, Hunter. We're so happy to have you on. We were talking about it this week. Just a lot of really good baseball talk. I'm psyched to get into it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, team's doing pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Little bit of a weird week of baseball. You faced the Astros again, then you had the Marlins, and you went 3-3, kind of like we have for like the last 2 weeks. It feels like every week we're coming back here, and it's like, yeah, we went 3-3 again this week, and it kind of didn't happen in a way that you might expect. So
Yeah, pulled a real the New York Yankees in the ninth inning against the Marlins today, didn't we, guys?
yeah. I guess first question for you, Hunter: is there anybody that we can replace Isaiah Campbell with?
yes, the issue
scarecrow.
is you get rid of Isaiah Campbell, you still have Jordan Hicks on your roster. So there's more than one person that possibly needs to get up out of here quickly. But I mean, there's definitely options. I know people aren't going to be super thrilled to hear with like that. I personally think Chris Murphy is a much better option than Isaiah Campbell. And he's had his moments. He had the big blow up outing, but outside of that, he's been fine. Someone that I honestly definitely think is going to get a lot. I'm going to get a lot of shit for saying this. Is I don't think Zach Kelly's that bad. I know he's
all right, and that's the episode, folks. Thank you, Hunter, so much for coming on.
We were talking Hunter up like that. Oh, I think Zach Kelly's a.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm not
was a
saying
family
I'm not
show.
saying he is the answer. I'm just saying the FIP's not bad. It's just kind of he walks people, but if he can figure that out. That being said, I don't think he is by even close to the best option that the Red Sox have that they could call to. If you're going strictly 40 man, I'm interested to see what happens with Kyle Harrison. I think that he has been pitching a lot better lately. The walks are still a bit of an issue, but if you throw him into the starting rotation, maybe you try Walker Buehler in the bullpen. I don't know. They have to figure something out with him too, because you can't keep throwing him out there if he's just going to keep ruining things. And then I think the two most exciting options are David Sandlin and Peyton Tolley. Neither are on the 40-man, but David Sandlin needs to be put on it this year or else he's going to get taken in the Rule 5 draft. So why not put him on a couple months early and see what he can do? Dude throws 100. He doesn't walk a lot of people. He hasn't been phenomenal since moving to the bullpen in AAA, but he's had, I think 4 outings in the bullpen in his entire career, not counting piggyback starts. So it's not shocking that maybe it's not been perfect for him, but he would at least be someone who would, 1, be exciting, and 2, he's not going to walk people with the bases loaded, which the Red Sox seem to be enthralled with doing. They seem to really love doing that. And then the big one, Peyton Tolley, he just continues to be an absolute freak of nature. His last time out, I think it was like 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts or something like that, 4 strikeouts. He's topped out at like 99.6 this year, which is absurd considering when they drafted him last year, he was topping out at like 93. He was sitting at like 91, and now he's sitting at like 96 and topping out at 99. I talked to him 2 months ago in Reading, and he talked about how that is, it's crazy to think about, but that's like a legitimate goal for him now, is hitting 100. Obviously, he's only been used as a starter outside of 1 piggyback appearance in AA where he went 4 innings. But he is ridiculous, and they have been somewhat limiting his pitch count. Like at one point his pitch cap was like 85, 90, and now it's sitting around like 65 usually. So they do seem to be like winding him down a little bit. Wouldn't be shocked if he gets a chance in the bullpen. They don't really need more lefties, but he is ridiculous, and he would be the most fun option. And then a little bit more out of left field, Tyler Uberstein is someone who maybe could get a chance. Connolly Early, I think at this point they're out on him as a reliever. I think he's more of a starter. They don't need to 40-man him, whereas Uberstein and David Sandlin, they would need to in the offseason. So it might as well do it now. So I think Uberstein's maybe like the other option that's not going to get talked about as much.
Yeah, insane to me that the Twins turned down a trade for Peyton Tolley. I can't fucking believe that.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that we actually have like real pitchers to talk about in the system, because it feels like for so long, like, you know, we were just waiting on Henry Owens and Anthony Renato to come save us, and like
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson, never forget his complete game shutout in 2016. But
he did what?
Yeah, he just random
what
like
do you mean never
random
forget?
Thursday afternoon or some shit. But no, like, so what really has gone in like from the Red Sox like development side of things on the pitching side, really since Craig Breslow's taken over, you've seen a lot of adjustments with everything. Guys seem to be like in a lot more strict routine. So like what exactly has changed on the prospect side of things there?
I mean, first off, just the draft process is very clearly different with Breslow as it was to Heim. Heim seemed very uninterested in drafting pitchers, especially early in drafts. And then, I mean, Breslow, I think 16 of the 20 picks of the 21 picks this year were pitchers, and like 3 of the first 4, and I think it was like 8 of the first 9 or something were pitchers. So I mean, that's just, there's a much different focus there, whereas Heim was kind of just hitter. Breslow seems much more interested in getting pitchers, which makes sense. He was a pitcher. And then just the people they have brought in, like not just Andrew Bailey, but everyone in throughout the minor league system. And it was a bigger talking point at the beginning of the year, was people not too happy with Andrew Bailey's pitching lab, because at the beginning of the year, things were not working out well. Lucas Giolito came back and was god awful. Brian Bayo at that point couldn't get through 5 innings. It was basically just Garrett Crochet and then pray that somebody does something good the rest of the week. And that was something we would talk about on the minor league show a lot, was the major league situation isn't great right now, but the process in the minors is absurd. The most notable thing was, I mentioned with Peyton Tolley, like the velocity bump. That's something we've seen with just about everyone throughout the system. It seems like everyone's going up 1, 2, 3 miles an hour on their fastball. I mean, even someone like Jedickson Paez in high A was throwing, 85 2 years ago. Now he's up to 92, which isn't phenomenal, but it's a lot better. So that's, to me, that's the big thing, is there's been a clear focus on gaining velocity. And I'm not a proponent of, if you can't throw hard, you're not going to succeed, but it sure fucking helps to be able to throw hard. Like if you aren't throwing hard, there's a lot less margin for error. If you're throwing 91, you better be dotting that thing every time. If you're throwing 102, if you miss your spot every once in a while, it might not kill you.
Yeah. Did you ever lose faith in the Bailey pitching lab? Because you're right. Earlier in the season, we were all looking for places to point fingers. And did you ever lose faith in the Bailey pitching lab?
I don't want to say it's not 100% yes, but I was definitely wavering on it. But I think the fact that we focus so much on the minor leagues and seeing that those guys were making such progress, it was more, I was losing faith in what he was doing in the major leagues, because it seemed like even people like Hunter Dobbins, or a better example to me is Luis Guerrero, dude threw 100-mile-an-hour fastball and looked good in the minors. I know he didn't have a great year in the minor leagues this year, but and then he would go up to the majors and it was like, hey, abandon the fastball. They would let him throw it in the minors, and then he got up to the majors and they were like, oh, your slider's your fourth best pitch. You're going to throw that 32 times in an outing. So I was losing faith in Andrew Bailey, but I don't know if I was losing faith in the whole ideology of the system. But I mean, I guess it was his system. So it's leaning more towards yes, but I wouldn't say I was 100% on the get him on the next plane out of here.
So that's really interesting to me, because Bailey is definitely a pitch backwards kind of coach, right? You see a lot of the off speed, you see a lot of movement, and a lot of that stuff plays really well. And I feel like this year in particular, we're starting to see Bailey let loose on the fastball, almost as if it's your killer pitch, that's your put away pitch, right? Is like you just saw 10 curveballs at 85, 90, and then all of a sudden 97 blows by you.
Yeah.
And I think the guys who, like you said, are really working on building that velocity, and it becomes their secret weapon, and then they go up to the big leagues, and all of a sudden it's like, no, you're going to use that once or twice to put a guy away. I would rather you throw a slider. I would rather you throw a curveball and then put him away with the fastball. I think kind of got to a lot of guys in their understanding of how they were approaching the mound. And unfortunately, I think Luis Guerrero kind of fell victim to that. I was never his biggest fan, tell you the truth. But as far as if a guy is throwing 100 in Worcester and then he goes up and he starts throwing a slider in the major leagues, it's a whole new approach to your mechanics, how you get guys out, how you navigate the lineup. And I think Luis Guerrero kind of fell victim to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that reminds me of one other guy that people are so annoying about. And
Jordan Hicks?
Not Jordan Hicks. I think Hunter knows where I'm going with this, but Quinn Priester obviously left, and he's had good success in Milwaukee and everything. I think it's our standpoint that I don't give a shit about this trade. We got some dudes back, turned into first round draft pick, and you're able to even use some of that extra money to sign more dudes out of the draft. But Hunter, please tell the people why this is fine that you traded Quinn Priester.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to interrupt real quick before you answer that question, because Jack Webster, you are also on the side of the grass that does not give a fuck that Nick Pivetta left and will never come back. And I think
and we beat the shit out of him.
I think that's a wrong take.
We did beat the shit out of him, to be fair.
Yeah.
I miss Nick Pivetta. I really want his powder blue Phillies rookie jersey. He's my boy. But I mean, like you said, he doesn't play for us. You hope he does great for the Padres against everyone except us. You just don't care about him.
Yeah.
So Hunter, I guess to throw it back to you, right? To answer Jack's question.
Well, here's my quick
Here's
my quick Nick Pivetta point: is if the Red Sox re-signed Nick Pivetta, they would not have signed Alex Bregman.
No, 100%. It was 2 hours after, and they're like, "Oh, we got
because
that draft
they got
pick.
that
Perfect."
they got the comp pick for Pavetta, so then they were fine losing a pick for Bregman. I really don't think they would have signed Bregman if it wasn't for.
Actually.
Yeah, no, I am not losing any sleep over either one of them, but
and then with Quinn Priester, he was like their 8th option. And don't get me wrong, yeah, he's better than like Sean Newcomb, but the Red Sox didn't view it that way, and they traded with a desperate team and got way too much for Quinn Priester. They traded for Quinn Priester, like 5 months before that, 6 months before that, whatever it was, and gave up one player in Nick York, who is still in AAA for the Pirates. He did spend a little time in the majors. I love Nick York, awesome dude, but like he's still in their AAA on their AAA team. And then you turn around and you get a top 20 prospect in your system. You get a John Holobitz, who was like a 5th round pick the year before. You get a 1st round comp pick, which was absurd. You get Marcus Phillips out of that. You get cash. Like that was the Brewers being very desperate and giving up way too much for a pitcher who I am genuinely not sold on. I feel bad because I feel like I shit on Quinn Priester a lot because when I first reported that trade, the amount of people that were commenting on it saying like, oh my God, the Red Sox fleeced, blah, blah, blah. So now anytime Quinn Priester has like even a semi-decent start, there's like 47 Brewers commenting under their post in it. And they're like, oh, what was that? Looks like the Brewers fleeced the Red Sox. So it's to the point where I'm like getting pissed at Quinn Priester, even though he's doing nothing wrong. And I feel bad.
He's just doing his job.
Yeah, like he's just pitching. And I feel like I'm getting increasingly more mad at him. And then I'm like kind of crapping on him. And I'm like, he doesn't really deserve this. But like, he's got a 4.3 whip, FIP or something like that. He strikes out like 7 batters per 9 innings. If he was in Fenway, he would be giving up a lot more home runs. If he was in Fenway, or still playing for the Red Sox, I should say, he'd be dealing with the Red Sox infield defense, which has not been good most of the season. I don't think that he would be having nearly as good of a season if he was still in a Red Sox jersey. I don't think he would be Walker Buehler bad, but I genuinely don't think he would be better enough to the point where fans wouldn't be complaining. Like, I think if Quinn Priester was on the Red Sox roster, he would have like a 4.7 ERA and people would be like, what the fuck is Quinn Priester doing on our team? I feel like they got a lot for him, and I feel like all the underlying numbers are not great, and it's just kind of like the Brewers have this black magic going on where they can do no wrong, and they're just going to find way to win games. And that's what they're doing. They're finding ways to win games. I mean, he just went out there. I think he gave up like 6 runs in 4 innings against the Mets, and they still won the game. So obviously his numbers for that game weren't good, but it was another win for the Brewers. So yeah, I'm not losing any sleep over losing Quinn Priester either.
It's kind of like whenever any Red Sox fan goes on Twitter and they see every Yankees fan commenting on every trade that's like, wow, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz has just been unbelievable in double A ice cream scooping.
I had that as a note too. Yeah, I had that as a note.
They're always like, yeah, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, he's so good. And it's like, Carlos Narvaez should be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. And it's kind of like not even close. Like, I lose no sleep over Elmer Fudd Cruz or whatever.
I just had a Yankees fan quote tweet because I tweeted about how I didn't care about Quinn Priester like 2 days ago. And I had a Yankees fan quote tweet it and say like, oh, Red Sox fans will talk about Carlos Narvaez, but they act like Quinn Priester sucks. And Elmer Rodriguez Cruz was pitching against Portland the next day. And I was like, dude, I like a lot of the players in Portland. Portland's offense is fucking gross, like bad. They had Yastinson Garcia and Blaze Jordan at the beginning of the year. Both got promoted. Obviously, Blaze Jordan ended up getting traded. Then at the trade deadline, Mikey Romero got promoted to AAA. Like, it's a bad roster. I think there is one player on that team hitting over 220, and it's Alan Castro, who's hitting like 251. No one hits home runs. They have like Abram Liendo has like 38 steals, and Max Ferguson has like 30, but like no one's doing anything. So I was like, great. Elmer Rodriguez Cruz is going to throw like 7 shutout innings, and this guy's going to be so annoying. And I think he went like 4 innings. He gave up 3 runs. He gave up like 9. It was my first time watching a full Elmer Rodriguez Cruz game this year. And I was like, it's just one start, but I was like, he didn't look that good. All the issues that I heard about from people within the system when he was here were the issues I still saw. Like, cool, the fastball's 98, but it's the straightest fastball I've ever seen. His off-speed stuff, he can't locate for shit. Like, he was getting hit around, a lot of hard contact, some of it not being hits. At one point, the Sea Dogs hit back-to-back doubles and didn't score because they're just that bad on the base paths because none of them are used to getting on base. So, like, I was like, this game should have been so much worse. So I was a little frustrated, but I was happy that he did not do good enough where I considered tweeting at the Yankees fan, but I was like, you know what, then don't. I'm trying to get better at not responding to assholes on Twitter. I'm still not good at it, but I'm trying.
So, sometimes you gotta let the hate see through. Yeah, like you're a better man than me because I would be on top of their asses with that. But like, where would you even probably rank him if he was in the Red Sox system still?
If we're counting, that's tough for me because I usually don't count players that aren't that haven't at least played in single A. So even Kyson Witherspoon technically isn't ranked to me just because I haven't gotten to see him play minor league baseball. So I just that's tough for me to rank. And someone like Dorian Soto, who's really good in the DSL, I don't consider him on there either. But if I'm counting all those guys, 20 maybe. On MLB Pipeline, they have Henry Godbout at 19. I don't know if I'd be putting him over Henry Godbout. Probably I'd put him over Jetix and Paez, but then 21's Yoferi Rodriguez, I'd put Yoferi Rodriguez over him. It's hard because he is having a really freaking good year, and I'm sure if he was in the Red Sox system, maybe I would be a little bit higher on him. But just knowing what I've been told about him, watching him play, I feel like the numbers are going to decrease kind of rapidly. I don't know. I'll try to be more realistic and say I'd probably have him around 15.
Yeah, so that's probably worth your Gold Glove caliber rookie catcher for 6 years is what you're saying, yeah? That's even still hitting league average, which is all that you could really expect from someone like that. Yeah.
Right. It's incredible. We look at Narvaez and we're like, oh, man, bat's slumping a little bit. And then he gets behind the plate and he's just calling
you just don't care anymore.
Than professional guys who've been getting their bags for years. Yeah, he's fantastic, and that's what you want. So,
yeah, because for entering in the year at least, it didn't really seem like there was a lot catching wise in the Red Sox system, especially near the higher levels. But is there anybody that might take those reins in the future, given that Narvaez is going to be your everyday guy at least for the next season and probably moving forward?
What, you don't want Connor Wong for a couple more years?
Yeah.
You don't want Connor
I'm
Wong?
all in on the AliExpress. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Admittedly, catcher is the weakest position for the Red Sox. I'm a big proponent of not drafting for need in the MLB draft. I think it's ridiculous to be oh, we need an outfielder, because unless that's a god prospect, he's not coming up for 2-3 years anyway. So who cares? You can figure that out in other ways. You should never draft for need. I was still shocked to see the Red Sox draft 0 catchers in the entire draft. Johan Fran Garcia is in high A. He is easily, in my opinion, the best catching prospect. He has ridiculous power. He's got a phenomenal hit tool, a really good arm. He looks better behind the plate than I thought he would this year. Last year, going into last year, he was a much higher rated prospect than Yastinson Garcia. And he was hitting 390 through 20 something games in single A, and then he tore his ACL. So I was shocked to see him when he came back. Start in high A, he played a little bit in the FCL, and then they jumped him to high A. I was a little surprised about that, and I was even more shocked to see that he's playing catcher basically every day. He's caught 40 games and he's only DH'd 10 times, and he's playing 4 or 5 times a week. So clearly they think he's fine, and he's looked a lot better behind the plate than I thought he would. That's the kind of injury where you're shit, is he going to have to become a first baseman? And he's throwing people out at a semi-decent clip. He's hitting the hell out of the ball. He's hitting like 250 right now. He struggled a little bit when he first got there, but he just hit another home run today. And then outside of him, it's like Gerardo Rodriguez is in single A. He's a ridiculously good defensive catcher, but there's massive question marks when it comes to hitting. Jorge Rodriguez is in the FCL. He's supposedly really good. But like the higher levels, no, like Ronald Rosario's in Double A. He had like a ridiculous July, but he's hitting like 200 on the year. Like they brought Ronaldo Hernandez back, who was one of the worst defensive. He was such a bad defensive catcher that when he was with Worcester 2 years ago, they just had him listed as a DH because they were just like, you can't catch. So like to me, that tells you how bad the catching in the system is, where they were like, oh, we gotta bring Ronaldo Hernandez back. And he was in AAA, I think, for like 5 days, and then they signed Chadwick Tromp. So then Hernandez moved down to AA. But there's no one in AAA or AA that I think is going to be help to the Red Sox ever. Brooks Brandon has a chance. He's athletic. He hits the ball really hard. And he's got a strong arm, but like he's hitting like 150 in AA right now. He hasn't had a ton of at bats there. But it's to me, it's Johan Fran Garcia is the big name to keep an eye on. It really upsets me that he got hurt last year, because it would have been so much fun to see him and Yastinson go through the levels together. I have no reason to believe that he wouldn't be in AAA with Yastinson right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be cool to have the brothers Garcia up in the major leagues. And the memes would write themselves, so yeah.
They would. You touched on first base a little bit. We're all wondering what the Christian Campbell update looks like.
I'm very worried about how they view him as a first baseman.
Especially since he's playing center today.
So my big thing has always been, when they first sent him down, stop like jerking him around. Like they were like, oh, he's going to go down. Literally when he got sent down, Alex Cora or someone, I forget who it was. I shouldn't attribute it to Alex Cora, but I think it was Alex Cora, said like, oh yeah, he's going to play a couple games at first every week, a couple games at second every week. Maybe we'll throw him in the outfield. And I was like, dude, your biggest, don't get me wrong, he like sucked for a month hitting wise. He was awesome in April, sucked in May, was doing a little bit better in June. But like the big issue with him was his defense was bad, which is so shocking to me, because it really wasn't that bad last year. Like he wasn't some like Gold Glover or anything, but he looked competent at like every position. At least in my opinion. I know some people don't agree with that, but I think most people would agree that like he didn't look bad. And then it was like, you want him to work on a position. You signed him to this long-term contract. He's clearly a part of your future, and you're like, put him at a position and have him learn that position instead of trying to have him learn a new position and get better at two other positions. And it was like, I feel like you're not helping him. And I think you saw that offensively, even like when he first went down, I think his confidence was completely shot. And he was just kind of there were games where he would be like 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and he swung the bat once. Like he looked like he was upset with himself. And it's good to see that the offense has picked it up a ton. But the weirdest first base I've ever seen, like there was back-to-back games where he had like legitimate web gem ESPN top 10 type plays. And then the next game he had 2 really embarrassing errors. Like one where the ball literally went through his glove. So it was like, I don't think he would be the worst player ever there. Like the Red Sox put Kyle Schwarber there for 20 games in a playoff race. The man celebrated making a throw to first base. That's how bad he was there defensively. So like, I think if they really wanted to, Christian Campbell could play the position. But the fact that he played left field for 2 straight games and then center field today, like 3 straight games of not first base, and you're throwing Yastinson Garcia at the position, like I feel like they're not convinced that he is going to be a first baseman, which doesn't completely shock me, but it pisses me off that they wasted this time throwing him at the position, and then they're not even really going to give him a chance there. Like, that's the clear position of need for the Red Sox right now. Abraham Toro has not been good for the last 2 months. Thank you, Abraham Toro, for that like awesome month stretch you had, but he has given the Red Sox basically nothing since then. And you have a guy who, at the beginning of the year, there were scouts that said he was a better prospect than Roman Anthony. Like, that was words out of scouts, out of legitimate scouts' mouth, not even Red Sox scouts. Like, around the league, people were like, this is the greatest prospect I've ever seen. I don't think they've given up on him, obviously, but they've jerked him around a little bit too much, and it upsets me to see how many fans have given up on him. I'll post a clip of him hitting an opposite field double, and I'll get 90 people saying, like, he'll never succeed with that. I'll get people saying, like, how to correct his swing, and I'm like, dude, you're some, like, 60-year-old man who never played above Babe Ruth league. Like, why are you trying to tell this guy how to play baseball? And then there will be like, he's still not hitting it. Still not pulling the ball, and then he'll pull a single, and it'll be like, oh, it was only 97. It was only a single, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. He hit a home run the other day that was 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity. He hit it like 398 feet, and I had two different people. I know that's not a lot, but still, two different people under the tweet saying, like, that wasn't crushed, that wasn't a good hit, and I was like, dude, what the fuck else can you do at this point? Like, it's upsetting me that I feel like the way the Red Sox have decided to go about things have made a couple fans like completely turn off of him, because the natural talent is so ridiculously obvious.
Yeah. It's like the meme of like the hot dog skateboarding and like the dude saying, this actually sucks. Like, but do you think we see him in the major leagues before the end of the year, or do you think they kind of want to just like have him have an off season to kind of reset and become that dude again?
I still think we'll see him before the end of the year, unless Yastinson Garcia gets like another week at first base and it's just like a fucking revelation there, and they're just like, this is the greatest player we've ever seen at first base. But I think that they know they have to make a move with Abraham Toro. When they didn't make a move at the trade deadline, I was like, all right, well, that's because Christian Campbell is the option. Like, that's why, because they already know that they have their first baseman on their team. I think we see him before the end of the year. And especially with the Marcelo Meyer news, I think it's coming at some point, because they can put him back at second. I know he wasn't good there. But then you can have Romy Gonzalez play first base more. I'd rather see him at first base against anyone than Abraham Toro at this point. I think he's a better defender. I think he gives you better at bats even against right-handed hitting or right-handed pitching. So yeah, I still think Christian Campbell will be an option at some point this year.
Yeah, so you touched on it. The official news came out that Marcelo Meyer will be getting wrist surgery. He will be out for the rest of the year. Jack and I were talking about it over breakfast this morning. Fine, right? Like, if you make the call to put Marcelo Meyer out of the game for the rest of the year so that he's ready for next year, I think that's a great call. Do it now, get it done, let him get healthy and come back. And he was fantastic at second base and third base. Like, I think it's a good call if you're sending him for wrist surgery today, tomorrow, to let him do that and come back and compete in spring to get that second base spot back.
Yeah,
and they tried to bring him back, but you knew the writing was on the wall after a little bit.
Yeah, that was that felt very much like a Marcelo Meyer wanted to try to come back. Like, he wanted to do whatever it took to come back. So they were like, all right, we'll try the shot. And then just when it didn't stick. That's something that's bothered me about like the narrative surrounding him, is this like that he doesn't care because he's had so many injuries. And my big thing always when it was the injuries in the minor leagues was just that he was the top prospect in the system, or one of the top like 3 prospects in the system, and always a top like 15 prospect in all of baseball. The Red Sox they shut these guys down. It happened with Christian Campbell last year. He got hurt right near the end of the year, and he didn't play for the last like 2 weeks, and they were in Lehigh Valley for the last series of the year. And I talked to him on the field, and he was like, dude, if this was middle of the year, I'd be playing. but there was a week left and they were just like, what's the point? Like shut him down. Why get him hurt for the last 3 games of the year? And they treat prospects with kid gloves because, Marcelo Meyer's 22 years old. You expect this guy to be part of your team for the next 10, 15 years. Him getting hurt because you try to force him back from a wrist injury a little bit earlier than you should is just stupid. I completely agree. It makes sense to get the surgery now. But I feel like that's a narrative that's followed him kind of because he is so nonchalant and even on the field like that. And that's something that people have complimented him for is how smooth he is on the field and how it seems like nothing rattles him. And I think his defense really surprised a lot of people this year. It even surprised me because he didn't really play third or second in the minor leagues. Like he was basically strictly a shortstop. So even me being someone who was always like, this is a really good defensive shortstop, I was not expecting him to go and look like a Gold Glover at third base for 3 weeks and then go over to second base with no warm up and look like a Gold Glover there for 3 weeks. I think it makes sense to shut him down now and hope that you can get him 100% healthy. Because as much as I will say, I feel like some of it was kid gloves. It has been also a very clear issue with him throughout his career is just he's gotten injured a lot. So hopefully this is something that they can figure out, clean up, and get him 100% healthy for next year because he's done that in the past. 2 years ago, I think it was, he played with like a hurt shoulder for like a month and a half, and that fucked up his health for a while then because then he missed the rest of the year, and then he had issues at the start of the next year because he tried to play through it too long. I'd rather him figure it out now, get healthy, and hopefully that's just the end of it, and we can get a nice long season of Marcelo Meyer next year because I think having him, Campbell, and Anthony on the same major league team for a full season would be really fun, especially just we've seen how good of friends Roman and Marcelo are. And I think that's a very important thing on a baseball team is chemistry. And it's good to see two people who genuinely seem like they want to spend 24/7 together.
Yeah, they're millionaires and they're just like, let's be roommates anyways. But I think the dumbest thing I've seen over the last 24 hours regarding Meyer is like, oh, he's injured all the time. And you kind of mentioned it, like, it's like you would rather have a guy not play through that type of stuff. But I see a lot of people saying like, oh, we should trade him for, Joe Ryan or whoever like that. And for me, that is so dumb because, you just called him up. He obviously could fill in any number of positions that you might need in the future as well. Who even knows if Trevor Story opts in or out at this point too? So I think it's so stupid people saying, trade him, especially while his value might be lower than it normally would just because, teams might, be concerned about the health, which, I think is fair to a degree when it hasn't been 100 games and it has been an injury every year. But like, I think the people, giving up on him or complaining about it, it's a very narrow like view of things. Like the blinders are on in a way.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to put us on a brief pause. Why don't we go to a little commercial break, let everyone's ears take a second. Any guesses as to what the commercial is, Jack?
I think it's going to be Honey Nut Cheerios.
Wow.
Now, good for your cholesterol and heart health.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go to commercial. Welcome back from commercials.
Yep.
It's so funny when people watch this live because we don't input like the commercial break on our live YouTube, which if you're listening to this on Spotify, go watch us on YouTube or don't. I don't care what you do. You're an adult.
It's just as long as you rate us. Like that's all that I really care
like,
about.
comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you. Believe Network. I'm an amorphous podcast voice. So thank you for joining us. We talked a little bit about Meyer before the commercial break. And his injury history and what that looks like. Jack, I kind of wanted to throw it over to you because you worked in minor league baseball for a few teams. So you got to see a lot of prospect development as well. And before the break, we talked about Meyer's injury history and how that affected him more in the minor leagues. And now that we're in the major leagues, we're seeing how that's going to affect him long term. So for yourself working in the minor league system, did you see a lot of those injury histories translate to the major leagues, or did you see kind of the inner workings of why guys were getting injured?
Yeah, well, I didn't do anything with the player side of things too often. Like, I'm busy during the games a lot, and I was on I was with the Paw Sox in 2016 and 2017, and then it was funny because the system was like loaded at the time. We had like Moncada and Benintendi and Devers, and they either all skipped AAA completely or like Devers played there for a week. So like we got none of the fun guys. Like I think Devers played exactly one game at McCoy, and like they used it on like the promotional items for like the next 3 years after that. And then I was like in the Phillies low A system, and I don't think there was anybody really of note there. So like, I mean, Hunter would probably even know more about like the actual like baseball side of things there, but yeah, I didn't see anybody good. Yeah.
You were the Lakewood Blue Claws, right? Was that the Phillies system?
Yeah, the now Jersey Shore Blue Claws. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Whatever
Yeah, I
that
hated
means,
them,
I guess.
New Jersey's awful. I will not apologize for this.
Yeah, I also heard they spotted the president in D.C.
Yeah, the Fork Founding Kitchen.
Yeah, Jersey awful. Wow, headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, Hunter, I would ask the same thing of you, like working in the minor league system and like just getting a closer look at these players developing. You know, do you see some of these trends and patterns that you think translate to the major leagues more so than maybe some other aspects of player development?
That's a tough question, honestly.
Thank you. I'm a reporter. I ask the hard-hitting questions.
I think so wait, hold on. Sorry. Are you asking what the like what specific patterns I feel like I've noticed that translate?
A little of both. I know what I threw at Jack was injury history, right? Does that follow these guys to the major leagues once they follow a major league regimen? And then additionally, because I know you work pretty closely with a lot of players, like are there aspects of their game that translate to the major league better than other aspects of a developing prospect's arsenal?
So with injuries, I feel like a lot of it's just freak stuff, honestly. Like you'll see players who didn't really have injury issues. Someone like Hunter Dobbins, obviously he had Tommy John at one point. But like then he was kind of like a workhorse in the minor leagues for a couple of years. And then he comes up, pitches well for a couple games, gets hurt, comes back. And in the game he comes back, he tears his ACL or whatever it was that he did. Like that's absurd.
Sad.
So with injuries, I find it hard to really see a pattern with most people. Like even someone like Marcelo Meyer, who we've talked about, has had a lot of injuries. It's not like it's always the wrist. Like it's been the wrist, it's been the shoulder. His back hurt at one point. He had a hip issue, and it like the same. The only person I can think of who it's kind of been like a consistent issue for is Mikey Romero has had, which is not going to excite people to hear, but like he has had back issues for the last couple years, that whenever he seems to hit the IL, it seems like there's an issue that arises with his back. So when it comes to injuries, I'm always going to be on the side of there's no such thing as actually being injury prone unless you have like whatever that disease was that Nomar had. Or if you just want to call having shit luck with injuries being injury prone. Because it really is just like you could fall down 1,000 times and not hurt yourself, and then you could carry in the groceries and get hurt. Freaking Sammy Sosa sneezed and had to go on the IL at one point. Like it's ridiculous what can happen.
Or like Cassis stepping on first base too hard and ruptured his whole kneecap.
Yeah, like a first baseman stepped on first base and ended his season.
He's out.
That's
for the
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then the other aspect of things, you know, when players are developing, like what translates to the major leagues better? Like, does the bat typically follow them from AAA to majors? Does the glove typically follow them better? Does like strikes in the zone, you know, leaping catches, like what parts of the AAA player usually follow them to the major league?
Well, I know a big talking point is always, obviously, massive steps through every level. Like, oh, double A is such a big step up from high A, triple A, blah, blah, blah. I think something that maybe doesn't get talked about enough is how big of a difference defense is from the majors to triple A, or from the majors to the minors in general. It's just the game is so much faster. So I feel like outfield defense is the most consistent defense because, yeah, the game's faster, but I don't think it affects you as much in the outfield. Whereas, like, if you're a second baseman, let's say, because it's the whole talk with Christian Campbell, like, ground balls are coming at you faster. You have to turn double plays faster. The people running are faster. Like, there's just so much more going on. So I think I think that outfield defense is slightly easier of a translation than infield defense. Hitting wise, obviously there's massive changes. What I don't even know if it's a hot take at this point. I genuinely feel like double A pitching is more of a challenge than triple A pitching. Triple A pitchers are usually like wily veterans who maybe are decent at locating and have like a gross junk ball. Like, oh, they have a good changeup, but they throw an 89 mile an hour fastball or something. Like it's a major league burnout. It's a guy that just wasn't good enough to be in the major leagues anymore. And now he's 34 years old and he's in AAA. We see it with the Red Sox. They had Robert Stock there this year. They had Cooper Criswell, who, bless him, does seem to shove semi consistently when he's with the Red Sox. But like, if you're looking at it objectively, this is a guy that throws 90 miles an hour and can get absolutely shelled at times. And then when you go to double A, that's usually where like the top prospects are sitting and they have like 100 mile an hour fastball and a gross slider. And when a top pitching prospect gets to triple A, they're usually not there for long. So there's a chance that just hitters are never seeing them. So to me, there's arguments to be made that it's easier to hit in double A. The only argument is maybe like, oh, the triple A guys can locate better. And just are more savvy with what they're doing. Like, again, this is a 34-year-old who pitched in the majors for parts of 8 seasons. So like he knows the psychology of the game better than a 21-year-old who just is like, hey, I could throw 100 too. I'm just going to keep throwing 100 too. So to me, that makes hitting difficult to translate because I feel like you're going from such extremes of like in double A, it's just a guy being like, I'm just going to throw you my best stuff and it's going to be gross, to triple A of a guy being like, hey, my stuff sucks, but I'm going to make it work as best as I can. And then you're back in the majors where now all of a sudden it's the best of both worlds where it's like I'm locating and I'm gross and I know how to get into your head and I know what pitch to throw and what count. So the most boring answer is speed is the thing that is always going to translate the best. That is why I tend to like prospects like someone like Abraham Liendo, who is not a very good hitter, but he's the fastest guy in the system and can steal 40, 50 bases and plays ridiculously good defense at basically every infield position. But he's probably never going to get a shot in the majors because he's also hitting 210 in double A with like a 600 OPS. So speed translates.
David Hamilton. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Speed translates. I think outfield defense translates pretty decently. Obviously, things like arm strength, like that, that's just if you're a catcher with good arm strength, you're a catcher with good arm strength. And then the one that translates, I think, better than people might realize, just because sometimes it doesn't show up, is just power. But power is so connected to other assets of the game. Like if you aren't making contact with the ball, I don't care if you have 50 home run power. If you're only hitting the ball one out of every 8 times, like.
Sorry, did someone say Spencer Jones?
No, I was just coughing.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Bless you. Sorry about that.
I go to a decent amount of Somerset games because I'll go when Portland's there, and I genuinely used to feel so bad for him because that crowd fucking hated him, man. Like, he would come up to bat
No.
and he would get like a smatter. Like, people would be like, oh, Spencer Jones, he's the top prospect in the system. And then he'd strike out. And it was just like, you're a fucking bum. And I was like, dude, this guy's like 22 years old. And just,
I don't know. They might be cooking.
Yeah.
He's 22
But it
years
was
old and
just
he's
like
a bum.
it'd be one thing if it was the away crowd, but like the home crowd was just like tired of him.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had that ridiculous hot streak when he first went up to AAA. But to me, that kind of highlights the exact point I was making of it's just easier to hit and don't get me wrong, he was still striking out like 42% of the time in AAA, which is probably why the Red Sox or the Yankees were
Bobby
refusing to call him up.
Numbers. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's rough.
But like, it's cool if you have that power, but if you're not making contact, no one's ever going to see the power. So then the other thing I think that translates really well is swing decisions. And you see the good and the bad of it. Like, that was the thing with Cedar Rafaela, even when he was in the minor leagues, was like, hey, he's going to be a free swinger. And then so it like makes me laugh then when Red Sox fans are like, why is he a free swinger? And it's like, you've been told he's a free swinger since 2002 or 2022. Like, this shouldn't shock you.
No, since he was like on Aruba in the Little League World Series, you've been told this. Yeah.
So like, I think that's a very important thing that translates. It's not always going to translate 100% because you're going to get a little overwhelmed with the level of competition, but that's something that usually translates pretty decently. Is this guy's good at knowing when to work a count. It's one of the reasons I'm so high on Justin Gonzalez in single A. He's 18 years old and he's got like a top 4 eye in the system. Like, he is constantly working full counts. He's rarely swinging at like really bad pitches. And I think that that's something that will follow him throughout the minor league system and hopefully translates well in the majors.
I mean, one can only hope.
Yeah, that he's a massive dude too. Like, that boy like does not look 18. Not trying to say anything like like unkosher, but like that is a
Miguel Tejada for you.
Yeah, that is a full grown man right there. Yeah.
Oh Lordy, come.
Yeah. But you kind of mentioned these two guys earlier.
Luis Hill also was a full-grown man when he won Rookie of the Year. Sorry,
yeah,
continue.
pretty much, yeah. But David Stanlin and Tyler Uberstein, they're Rule 5 guys. You know, you're gonna have to add them anyways. But is there anybody else in the system that we are gonna have to protect and might be like a little bit of a surprise to see before the end of the year?
To see before the end of the year, probably not. Like, the only other person I think I was like, I'm worried that they're going to lose Jeremy Wu Yelland in the Rule 5, but he's still in Double-A. They're not going to call him up. I'm terrified they're going to lose Yordany Monegro in the Rule 5 draft. I saw when he needed Tommy John surgery a couple months ago, and when it happened, I saw a bunch of people like, sweet, we don't have to worry about protecting him in the Rule 5 draft. No one's going to take him now. He is a much better prospect than Angel Bastardo, and this is the exact same situation as last year. Angel Bastardo got hurt, needed Tommy John, was expected to miss all of this year, and the Blue Jays took him in the Rule 5 draft. Someone is going to take Yordany Monegro. But, like, there's only a couple even semi-realistic options. Like, Shane Drohan, if he was healthy all year, I think would have gotten a shot, but, like, he missed a large chunk, and now he's rehabbing in High A. I don't think he's pitched enough where they're going to feel comfortable giving him a shot in the majors this year, especially just with the other options they have. Isaac Coffey, again, if it wasn't for the injuries and stuff, maybe he would have been an option, but like, he got injured, then he came back, had issues. Now he's back in Double-A. Hayden Mullins is a guy I think they will lose in the Rule 5 draft. I really don't think there's anything they can do about that. Pitching his ass off. He's got like a sub-2 ERA on the year. He's got like a 2.1 in Double-A. But he's just kind of, it's a numbers game, and the Red Sox just have so many good pitching prospects. The only other maybe one is Alex Hoppe, reliever in AAA who throws 100. He just got absolutely shelled the other day. I think he gave up like 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning, but he had been on a ridiculous streak before that of like 13 straight outings without giving up a run or something. He's really intriguing, But again, I just think that there's options ahead of him. Like if the Red Sox are going to go to someone that they haven't already gone to this year, like unless they're just shuffling in and out, like, oh, Chris Murphy, Giovanni Moran, Brennan Bernardino, like a Zach Kelly, whoever else the hell they have. There's someone else I'm missing that has been up and down. Cooper Criswell, I just don't see. I feel like the only legitimate options in AAA that aren't on the 40-man right now are Sandlin, Uberstein, and Peyton Tolley, and they don't even have to protect Peyton Tolley this year. So maybe that plays against him a little bit in getting called up.
Yeah, the numbers game with the prospects in the current major league roster looks like it's getting harder, which, like, thank God, right?
Good problem.
That's a very good thing. It's upsetting to see some of these guys go, but it's like, hey, that means you actually have a good roster to put together.
Right, and Red Sox fans have been praying for good rosters since 2018, and even in the last few years, we were like, "Oh, this is a pretty good roster," and then we just are bad. Maybe it was Josh Winkowski was the guy you were thinking of, the guy that's kind of been up and down a little bit. But I think
he's dead.
I was going to say, I think he's out for the year, though.
Ah, bummer.
He got lucky because he got like placed on the injured list on the major league one, so he still gets all that service time and major league money and everything compared to the dog water in AAA. Well, it's better now, but yeah, like.
Do you think he does dog walking on the side? Like, do you think when he's injured, he like goes on Rover and he like does dog walking?
Might as well just start thinking about like your post playing days. Like it's not a bad gig, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, shout out to Rover. There's a free ad. Josh Winkowski will walk your dog probably, but. I've always wondered that, like, are you really in the physical therapy chair from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day? Or are you like Cutter Crawford and just like hanging out in the dugout?
Yeah.
Or are you like walking a dog for your neighbor for like $20 an hour?
Just playing Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, like Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony, they get injured and they just watch rom-coms for 8 hours. That's one of my favorite relationships on the team is just two guys being dudes, watching chick flicks and eating dessert and big fan.
Going to clubs. They're just having
with their father
Roman
Romy Gonzalez. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I don't
video
think Bregman goes to the clubs, but
So like when that video came out, the first thing I said was like, can we fucking stop recording these guys? Like that bothers me. Like, let these guys be 21 years old and Major League Baseball players and enjoy shit without like everyone running up to them. But at the same time, it was very funny to see like Roman Anthony chatting up a girl, Marcelo Meyer chatting up a girl, and then on the other corner, Romy Gonzalez talking to a girl while looking at both of them. And I was like, it genuinely seems like he's like their older brother, like making sure they don't do anything stupid. Like he's like, yeah, I'm interested in you, but I want to make sure that they don't do anything stupid. Like that's why
they got their dad, Alex Bregman, and then like they got the cool cousin over here that like they go on for nature walks before Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah.
Going for a walk before Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How do you think those bar conversations go? Like, here's what I imagine happens at these bars for them to like pick up chicks. Hi. I'm Roman Anthony of the Boston Red Sox.
Did you see I just signed a contract for $230 million?
Have you noticed I'm incredibly handsome? You don't even need like any of the rest of the stuff. These are just handsome 21, 22-year-old like guys. They don't even need all this extra athletic ability and millions of dollars. Like they have it too good.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I've met both of them a couple times. Awesome people, always super nice. I always go back to it. I talked to Roman at the end of last year when they played in Lehigh Valley, and when I was done talking to him, he was like, "Oh, dude, thanks for everything you do." I was like, "I don't do shit. Like, thank you for letting me come and ask you questions and stuff." Awesome people, but really good point by you. They can both go fuck themselves. Don't be that handsome and good looking and like everyone thinks you're the coolest people in the world and also be that good at baseball. Pick one thing to do and do that and fuck off.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm pretty good at controlling my weight. I make a decent amount of money every year, and that can be kind of cool. Sometimes I remember to do my laundry on the weekends, so I've got those things going for me. But I feel like it doesn't really match up to a guy Roman Anthony being like, "Hey, girl."
Having a mid-range Red Sox podcast doesn't like quite compare to playing right field at Fenway.
Hey, girl, they laud me for my patience. How well do you think that goes? Hey, they tell me I make a lot of good swing decisions.
Yeah. My outs above average is +5. Yeah.
I want to respect their privacy, and I would also pay money to see what an unedited conversation looks like between them and anyone they're talking to at the bar.
It really does have to be the easiest thing in the world. Like, I feel like they aren't even approaching people. It's got to be like a girl who's like, I'm hot enough, I can approach you. Because, like, why even try at that point? Just stand there where you know people can see you and be like, they'll come talk to me.
Yeah, and I think of, like, what's the guy equivalent of that, right? Like, if I saw Simone Biles in a bar just hanging out, could I do it?
No.
I think she's married to like an NFL
She's
player.
married to an NFL player. Yeah, that's not going to go well for you.
Yeah, well, remember those 3 things I said earlier that I'm good at? Yeah, my 4th thing is I'm really good at beating up NFL players.
Yeah, no, just walk up to Livy Dunn like, excuse me, Paul.
let the real men work,
Yeah.
Paul. Who just, got handed the ball to open the WBC for Team America, which is going to be really exciting.
Hopefully Garrett Crochet pitches for him, too.
That would be really cool. It's so crazy, though, that they're going to be the 2-3 after I take the mound on day 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I hope Roman Anthony plays for us, too.
That'd be cool. He might play for Italy. Who knows? Like,
That would be cool. I would get a Roman Anthony Team Italy jersey.
that would be a cop.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Marcelo. I just realized the Marcelo injury probably means he's not going to play for Mexico in the WBC, since he'll probably want to like play in spring. So we'll still have some dudes. We'll have Narvaez and
you know
Willier
what?
play
I'll
for
just
Venezuela.
do it. I'll just do it.
Okay. Yeah, I believe in you.
Yeah, I'll play second base for Mexico in the WBC,
Yeah.
despite my Italian-Irish heritage.
There you go.
Yeah, me and everyone else in Boston.
Yeah.
My
Do
Italian.
you have a game for us this week, by the way? Or
I do. It is a familiar game. Actually,
Yeah.
the one thing I was going to ask is, we usually go about an hour. We haven't really had a chance to touch on the Major League team. Do you feel like you have another 10, 15 minutes in you to talk about the Major League team? Or
yeah, today sucked.
today blew chunks, man.
I don't even really want like Friday. Cool, you have the walk off. I was at the game on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. But man, what a sour taste in your mouth after today's game.
It was just terrible. And you know who I want to give the L for today's game to is fucking Isaiah Campbell. Like,
Yeah.
we have hot soup
Yeah.
Christian Campbell and we have cold soup Isaiah Campbell. It was embarrassing to get not walked off, go-aheaded today by the Marlins. We pulled a real Yankees on that one.
Yeah, no, you wasted such a good Crochet start too. I think that's like the worst part of it all. And like Whitlock gave up a run, and then Greg immediately gave up a run, and then Matz gave up a 2-run homer. Just not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter, I gotta ask you as well, because like we saw the dichotomy of man this week in Garrett Crochet getting beat around a little bit for the first time kind of all year against the Astros. Came out today and was excellent. We also saw a lot of really good work from Dustin May this week. Walker Buehler's looking more encouraging. Like, with what we've seen this week, what is your view of the current Major League team and how they are performing, and if it is sustainable?
I definitely think it's sustainable. The positives, you both mentioned just how frustrating today was, and I agree. Isaiah Campbell really kind of just screwed them in this series, but it was also just frustrating and I'm not too worried about this game just because it's like Garrett Whitlock's been nails basically all year. That was the first run Steven Matz gave up all year. Greg Weissert had that like terrible stretch, but he's been good for most of the year. Like, this was just a game where 3 bullpen arms you usually can trust kind of folded on themselves. But like they won 2 out of 4 in the stretch with the who the hell was it? It was the Astros and who?
The Astros this week in the Marlins, and before that it was the Padres.
Yeah,
wasn't
the
it?
Yeah, thank you. So it was the
and
Padres
Astros
and
again, yeah.
it was the Padres and Astros was the 2-for-4 series, or 2-for-4 in those 6 games. And then like I think you did enough against the Marlins. Like, yeah, it would have been great to sweep, but it was such an ugly way to lose. But I'm so unworried about it. I feel like this team is firing on almost all cylinders at the moment. Like you said, we've seen better things from Walker Buehler lately. That was a very encouraging Dustin May start. I mean, I'm interested to see where he goes from there. Because like, I feel like no one was super excited about getting him. And I feel like a lot of that wasn't even really the Red Sox fault. It was more just the MLB on Fox deciding to say that the Red Sox got Joe Ryan. And then all of a sudden it was like, just kidding, they got Dustin May. Like that made people hate on the Dustin May acquisition, I think, more than they would have. I don't think they would have been super jacked up, but he's now getting a chance to, like, he's now had 2 starts on the team. He's getting a chance to work with the Bailey pitching lab and everything. Hopefully they're tweaking things and making things right. Yeah, I'm just like, Garrett Crochet's a top 3 pitcher in baseball, top 2 pitcher in baseball. Brian Bayo's fantastic. The bullpen has enough pieces in it. Like, there's some people there's issues. There's some people you're worried about, but like they have the back end figured out. Trevor Story outside of May has been an MVP in the league. Like if you could just take out that 1 month of baseball, I know you can't, but there's really not any glaring weaknesses outside of like they need to figure out first base, and they have options for first base. So I truly believe that this team can keep rolling. I'm not worried about the Yankees. Knock on wood. I hope I didn't just ruin that, but like I'm genuinely not worried about.
Yeah,
the
we're
Yankees.
gonna point at you.
I'm doing a full scouting mission in New York next weekend. I'm gonna eat that Yankees Stadium tiramisu and everything. And I'm not worried about it.
Yankee Stadium.
I'm not worried
sushi.
about it at all.
I'm not worried about it.
So yeah, I think that they'll maybe not win the division, but they're going to have a clear shot or a clear ride to a wild card spot. And then I'm so ready for playoff baseball at Fenway again. Obviously I won't be going to the games, but just the atmosphere, even watching on a TV screen, like it's fun to see the fans getting into it now. Like I think it was in yesterday's game. They were losing and someone like drew a walk and the place just got so fucking loud. Like there were "Let's go Red Sox" chants. There were, and then they take the lead, and there's "Yankees sucks" chants, and the fans are ready, and I feel like this Red Sox team will get to the playoffs, and then when they get to the playoffs, I think massive things can happen because they have enough talent on the team, and even if they don't happen, it'll just be awesome for someone like Roman Anthony to get those playoff at bats, and then for the next 20 years terrorize teams in the playoffs.
I think that's a good take.
Yeah, no, I this year, I definitely want to make it in, and not only that, I want the top wild card spot, so that way we're playing at Fenway, because like I think going back to like 21, if you have to play that 1 game wild card on the road, maybe things go a little bit differently. The atmosphere is a lot different. Giancarlo Stanton probably has 4 home runs that game. That's like, according to John Sterling, he thought he had another one in that game anyway. So I definitely want to play those games at Fenway. We've been playing good with the exception of today's game from there. I think like they mentioned it after the walk-off. We're like 17 and like 3 now over our last 20 games there. So I think that'll go a long way. You know, we've been starving for it though. Like like you got the taste in 21, but like over the last like 6-7 years now, only making it that one time, like we need it back. And like I feel good about our chances. Fangraphs likes our chances and everything else too. So like you're just praying it's not like it's not what's happened the last few years where we've fallen off, like, and it's already better because at this point, like last year and the year before, it's just like, oh well, maybe we sneak in and then like we fall flat on our faces. Like it does feel a bit different this time around, at least in my like point of view.
Yeah, I'm looking at a much more competitive Red Sox team, bar none. It's just not even close.
No, we are more talented, and we have depth. We got, Payne Tolley's going to save us. I think that's what I learned here today is we're calling him up. He's going to be throwing 102 out of the pen for us and be like our 2008 David Price.
Yeah, one can only hope. We'll probably get ourselves winding down a bit here. Hunter, my next question will determine the game. Are you a Pokemon fan?
Yes.
Oh, hell
Big
yeah.
time.
How yes, big time?
I was telling you guys before that I had to go pick up a new router today. When I was at the store, there were giant Cubone plushies, and it took everything in me to not buy one. I was like, I'm spending $200 on a router. Don't pick up the Cubone plushie.
Wow, let's go. Oh,
I got my friend Bulbasaur right here.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, if I was in my usual spot, I would have Pokemon cards behind me, but I'm not in my usual spot. I have a shiny Venusaur, a shiny Machamp, and a not shiny Jigglypuff, because the Jigglypuff card was my favorite when I was a kid, so it's protected.
wow, holy shit.
I've been playing a lot of the pocket trading card game recently, and that's been a lot of fun. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to do a spin-off series with Hunter where we just talk about Pokemon and cards.
Yeah.
What's the state of the game right now? Is poison overpowered? But that'll be for a different day. We're gonna play a fun little game tonight. Now that we know you're a big Pokemon fan, we're gonna call it Pokemon Prospects, and we are going to pick a team of 2 Pokemon. You're each going to pick 2 whole Pokemon where their prospect version or their first evolution becomes Dynamite in their final evolution. The only rule is Magikarp into Gyarados is off limits because it is the biggest glow up of all time. But Pokemon Prospects, what Pokemon are you picking that will eventually become a major league stud? We'll go one for one, and Hunter, you're a guest, so why don't you pick our first Pokemon prospect?
So hold on. I'm picking. Am I equating him to a player, or I'm just picking?
yeah, I'm a little confused here too.
No, you are picking a Pokemon here as an example. Like, I'm going to choose my starter, and I'm picking Bulbasaur because in that first gym he's really fantastic, but when Bulbasaur becomes Venusaur, that is my ride or die. That Pokemon carries my team. I can build a team around this Pokemon. So it's baseball related in that it is prospect based, but what Pokemon would you pick in its smallest evolution, knowing that it's going to be a tank in its final evolution?
I'm going to go with. I feel like what would be a popular answer here, and go with Ghastly.
Yep.
Okay. So
I got to show you something right now. We're gonna get a little PG-13 here.
wow.
But, yeah.
Wow. Are you taking
Yeah.
Are you taking your shirt
yeah,
off?
got a little Gengar tattoo going on.
Oh my god,
here.
that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about a fit check this week. You actually took off
Yeah,
your
it's a
shirt
full fit check.
for the fit check.
Yeah. I hope that made it in on the camera. I wasn't 100% sure.
You know what?
Yeah.
We can definitely share it. It'll be like that time that
Yeah.
Jake Wallinger accidentally showed his butt crack a little
Yeah,
bit.
sorry, Mom, if this is the way that you're finding out about this.
So a Ghastly pick because Ghastly's going to become Gengar and you can build a team around Gengar. Jack, you can't pick Ghastly.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to pick.
Damn it. Wow, you look so stupid right
I
now,
know.
dude.
I'm going to go surprising one here because I've been playing a deck with it in a Pokemon trading card game. I'm going to go Zubat to Crobat.
Okay.
Like, having just, like, a nice, strong poison and flying type, you can get a lot of people just, like, not aware, like, how to actually take it down. So, like, you get a lot of speed there, too. You get, like, a lot of different move sets that you can have. You can, just have them kind of play around with a lot of different things here. So underrated, obviously very annoying in like the early games, but I think once they added that final evolution when like Gen 2 or Gen 3,
Yeah.
like that's when it actually like started to become like a good Pokemon.
Dude, the Gen 2 Crobat edition was exactly what the Zubat line needed. Crobat is just, it's awesome.
Crobat's
really
very
cool.
cool, and I hated Zubat with a passion for most of my life just because of Mount Moon in the first games.
Yeah,
It was just you
it
ran
was
into
so
him every
annoying.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. But adding the Crobat evolution in game 2, can't be.
I like my answer there.
Yeah, I like that answer too.
Yeah,
So-
you have to give one to now.
Oh, I do? Am I
Yeah.
playing the game?
Yeah, you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, just kidding. Not fuck. I actually secretly wanted to play this game the entire time. And you guys look so silly right now.
You're stalling.
I'm stalling.
Shut up.
So because it's been on my mind, because we watched Pokemon earlier, I'm also gonna kind of go a sleeper pick. I'm gonna go Caterpie because the Butterfree final evolution is just nails when you're playing the game and especially getting to the Elite Four. I'm gonna go Caterpie. That becomes Butterfree is gonna be my pick.
There was a tiny part of me thinking about going Weedle, so I like the fact that you went Butterfree. I am stuck on. I have 3 different options right now, and I don't know
Wow,
who to
he's
pick.
Ready.
Yeah.
Do you want some help?
Yeah.
Because we'll just steal him.
Go Shelder to Cloyster too. Like Shelder, like, you know, kind of whatever, but like you can get like some really good, just like insane boost with Shelder if you do like a Shell Shock and like just like make it an absolute tank. And plus, like, it knows water and ice moves too, so like a nice just like 1 to 2. Also looks like a something as well, but yeah, Cloyster is you know, pretty underrated Pokemon.
What does it look like?
Nothing. Just
What
yeah.
you said it looks like something. What?
Don't
does
worry
look
about
like?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I could go with the classic Dratini to Dragonite.
Classic.
Yeah.
I could go Abra to Alakazam. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Rhyhorn to Rhyperion.
Ooh.
Wow.
Rhyperior. Yeah, Rhyperior.
Yeah, Rhyperior. Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's like
Yeah.
Rhyhorn is like the prospect who is already a freak of nature, who everybody's like, yeah, this guy's like, it's like James Wood, where everybody's just like, he's a freak, and then somehow he turns into Shohei Ohtani or something. Like he's just he's a god, and that was such an unexpected addition, in my opinion, adding Rhyperior. Like, you didn't really need one. Rhydon was already such a freak. So I thought it was very cool that they added him. And that makes me happy that I get to show him some love, because I feel like he doesn't get enough love.
Wow. It's kind of a snag. Sometimes those like added third evolutions sneak under the radar, but Rhyperior is nuts.
I'm gonna go shiny Mega Rayquaza. Like,
What was the base version of that?
Caterpie. just yeah.
You got regular Rayquaza.
Yeah.
Because you knew it was going to become shiny Mega Rayquaza.
Which apparently is pronounced Rayquaza.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Grow up.
No, it's not. Settle down, Pokemon. Shut up.
Yeah, Rayquaza. Yeah, my ass. It's called Rayquaza. Oh, I just had this really, really good one, and I forgot it a little bit because I was laughing at the joke. Really funny joke, by the way.
Thank you.
Hold on, it's still there. It's come back. Oh, okay. No, I definitely got it. This is one I forgot about because forever you have to trade to get it. But I'm going to go Geodude into Golem is going to be my evolution. And I always forgot about it because you could never get Golem because no one wants to trade.
Yeah,
Because
you didn't
it's
have any
stupid.
friends growing up. So.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm not crying. I was acting.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Golem or Geodude into Golem because Golem could learn Flamethrower. It was just awesome. It was so cool.
Yeah, very good. Absolute tank, yeah.
Big fan. So we have Ghastly into Gengar and Rhyhorn into Rhyperior for Hunter. We have Caterpie to Butterfree for myself and Geodude to Golem. And then for Jack Webster, we have Zubat to Crobat and Shelder to Cloyster.
Yeah, we might need to run a poll on this.
I think we should run a
Yeah.
poll, and I think we should run a spin-off episode.
Yeah, we need to get like Tyler Milliken and like all the other just like Pokemon nerds, because apparently there's like a lot in Red Sox Nation.
There's
so,
a surprising
yeah.
amount, it seems.
Yeah, it kind
That
of
makes
makes
me happy.
sense. Like, it's a lot of like numbers between like Pokemon and baseball.
Same
so,
level
like,
of Riz.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like Pokemon, like, they're like, if it's connected to one sport, it's baseball, and I can't explain why, but it is.
It's the stats.
Yeah.
I also
Maybe
feel
it's
like we're
like
just
the Japanese ties, like maybe I don't know.
we're also just at that age. Like, I thought it was so cool that like they had that Matt Strom interview where he was talking about investing in Pokemon cards. And I was like, we're at that age now where players have the childhood hobbies that we had. And like, it's fun to see like all the nerd shit that I like get talked about in a much more positive light than it did when I was 10 and I had to try to pretend like I didn't like it as much as I did.
Yeah, like when I had to explain to my mom that I still wanted Pokemon Emerald, even though I was like 11 years old, I was like, yeah, no, it wasn't a phase. Turns out this is just who I really am. Yeah.
How'd that turn out for you?
I still got it, but like, it was after that like it kind of fell off for a few years because like that I think that's when like it stopped being like the Christmas or birthday gift or whatever.
So
yeah.
you're gonna tell me you both like Pokemon and have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have for you guys in my notes this week. I mean, a fun little game. We're gonna have to, dig into the Riz among Red Sox Nation a bit more when it comes to Pokemon. But that's all I have. So, I mean, any final words you guys want to say before we sign off?
No, just wanted to thank Hunter for coming on. Let the people know where to find you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. At Hunter_Knoll on Twitter. Follow the Pesky. I think it's at the Pesky Report. Hold on, I should probably have.
Yeah,
done my research.
they had to change it at one point. We've
that was the
talked
whole
about
thing.
it with some of the other dudes
that
we've had on. Yeah,
that was fun. At the Pesky Report. It used to just be Pesky Report, and then some asshole deleted it. Follow everyone there. They're all awesome, good people. And then just watch out for my Twitter for whenever I post articles or anything, because that's how I get paid.
Yeah, no, just click on them. Yeah,
just click on them. You don't even have to read them. Literally, the other
mentioned-
day I posted an article and Loomer Loney quote tweeted it and was just like he disagreed with what I had to say on it, and I had people calling me an asshole. The one guy literally made fun of me. He said he'd rather keep Yoiker Fajardo than trade for a starter, which just was not what I said at all. And I said that to him. I was like, literally, the opening line is me saying, I wish they would have gotten Joe Ryan. Like, I wish they would have done more at the trade deadline. And his response was, oh, well, I didn't read it. I just clicked on it. And I was like, what the fuck are you arguing
Wow,
with
nice
me?
get paid.
Welcome to Twitter.com. Yeah. I'm not calling it the new name.
No,
no one is.
not at all. But yeah, so just click on it and call me an asshole. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just click on it.
Yeah.
Good marketing.
I mentioned it earlier. We will be at Yankee Stadium over the weekend, so no episode next Sunday. We'll probably have one Monday or Tuesday. But for anybody listening, thank you for coming on. Pretty good audience today, probably. Yes.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, good audience. Hunter, great guest. We'll have to
Yeah.
have you on again. But
Absolutely.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, enjoy the
Thank
rest
you.
of your evening. Hope your internet gets figured out too. I don't
We'll
think we
figure it
mentioned
out.
it on here.
We have
but,
a
yeah.
yeah, we have a show tomorrow with a special guest. So I'm gonna have to. We'll probably end up being in this situation again.
Well,
Good
best
luck.
of luck. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Hunter.
See ya.
Take care.
No, I
Yeah.
love you.
Okay,
no, I
no,
love
I
you.
love
Okay,
you.
love you. Bye.
Okay,
No, I love
no,
you. Okay.
Yeah, fuck Isaiah Campbell though.